Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Good morning, mates and mateys, and good evening, Australia. We welcome you to coverage on behalf of the #1 motorsports simulation in the world, iRacing, on behalf of Motorsport Australia Esports and Nitro Racing. This is coverage of the Australian NASCAR E-Series Championship. And tonight, we are at the world's greatest race course, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway on 16th and Georgetown, just outside of the beautiful state of Indiana. And Speedway, Indiana, is where we are. Back home again for iRacing on this Sunday evening. Welcome to coverage. I am Wesley Outland. Joined alongside is finally a guy that is up at 6 a.m. calling iRacing like I am. I'm not the only crazy guy of the world of the U.S., and he actually lives in Indianapolis. He'll be my new color analyst as Nigel Siddell will handle race directing duties. Dylan McDonald, good evening. We're ready to roll here at Indianapolis, sir. This is a place you know very, very well. Fun place at this 2.5-mile layout.
Oh, absolutely. Can't wait to see what these drivers bring into effect here. Obviously, 4 different quarters. It's going to be a little bit slippy-slidey coming off of the corner exit, but also got to watch the pit road entry. The cone sticks out a little bit further than what it used to be on the older style Indianapolis Motor Speedway, but still going to be a lot of great racing all the way around here for 100 laps at Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
It certainly will, man. Obviously, that'll be a fun one. We'll keep an eye and watch here tonight as there is a look at the standings after 2 weeks ago. We raced 2 weeks ago on the Chicago Street Course, and after a 2-week break, we're back at it again. Zach Kerr is the man that leads the way with 5 wins, 377 stage points. Playoff points is already up to 26. He is now over Matt Danson in second. Wayne Burke, who picked up the win in dominating fashion on the Sunday night and the Tuesday events at the Chicago Street Course, was the man, obviously third in the point standings. Ethan Winter, Lewis Greathead. And now the thing is, Dylan, 12 drivers going to the playoffs. You're on the outside looking in if you're 13 on back, but if you get a win, you're in, as long as you run those minimum races required. So far, we've seen 5 different winners in, of course, heading into race number 12 tonight.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you're Henry King or Tom Freer, you're definitely going to be trying to look for a win to get yourself boosted up into the playoffs. Like you said, you win, you're in. Obviously, you don't want to be below that cut line. Nobody wants to be below that cut line. It's not like it's the end of the world. You still got a lot of races left, but you kind of want to get that win off your back so you can kind of relax a little bit, kind of run your own race. But for people like Grant Matterford or Sam Smith, they got a lot of point deficit to make up. But anything can happen. It is racing. You could have a really strong hand at one race and then have a really bad race the next race. So when is somebody going to bite the bullet, play the cards right, and get their first win? Here is looking at the standings. We have a couple of different multi-time winners here in the ANC Xfinity Series.
I think that's something we'll definitely keep an eye on. By the way, this is the Australian NASCAR E-Series of the Australian NASCAR Championship. There's a look at the schedule. Remember, by the way, the Sunday night series runs alternate weeks. So again, after last week off, 2 weeks ago at Chicago, we raced at Indianapolis. Oh, and by the way, this is the final race of the regular season. Coming up in 2 weeks at Daytona, you've got Indianapolis, you've got Daytona, the two most popular racing facilities of the world. Open wheel Indianapolis, and obviously stock cars at the World Center of Racing at Daytona. How cool is it? These are your final two races to determine, if you will, Dylan, if you're going to go to the playoffs or not.
Absolutely. I mean, you got the two mecca of races. I mean, Indianapolis, home of the Indy 500, and obviously you got the World Center of Racing. So, granted, last race of the season before the playoffs start, how big or how much do you want to go for that win here tonight and start your playoffs right? Anything can happen at Daytona, but first we got to get through the Indianapolis Motor Speedway race here tonight. But like you said earlier, a lot can happen. Definitely got to see what these drivers are in store here tonight.
An ultimate race of the regular season at Indy, and here is your starting lineup. It'll go like this. On the front row for round 11 of the Australian NASCAR E-Series Championship, we'll find Zach Kerr in the Nexus Esports entry number 12. Fast qualifier, 52.644 seconds to his outside for Team Vortex, the number 39 of Ethan Winter. Britton Hobson from Australia will start third of the number 88, and Josh Micklemore, the former Tucsonite Series champion of Xfinity and the BMG Series Nitro, number 31, starts fourth. Vermilion Motorsports make up row number 3 with Lewis Greathead in the 6th and Sam Chapman, ironically, in the 7th. Tom Freer and Wayne Burke, Chicago Street Race winner a couple of weeks ago, show the front row for row 4 for Synergy and Vermilion of the 41 and 89. And finally, Dylan, row number 5 in your top 10 will find the Lobs Esports number 1 of Brad Newman and Nitro Racing's number 10 of Dave Douglas. He'll start 10th.
In position number 11, we got Lachlan Mead. In 12th, we got Jason Holdsworth. 13th, Fitzroy Beaumont. 14th is going to be Shane Bowen. 15th will be Stephen Williams. 16th is going to be Jamie Ritchie Price. 17th is going to be Aaron Gilbert. 18th on the outside is going to be Brenton West. 19th is going to be Matt Danson. And rounding out your top 20 of tonight's field is going to be Henry King.
So there is the lineup. By the way, this race will be 100 laps around the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Real quickly, let's take a look at the race analysis for tonight. And obviously, 100 laps is your distance. Race details now popping into view. 4 sets of tires, total fuel capacity at 100%. There will be 3 attempts at overtime for a green-white checker if need be. It is daytime conditions. Weather, partly cloudy conditions in the virtual sim in Indianapolis. Ambient temperature sim time is 82.40 Fahrenheit. Humidity at 44%. And its track temp is at 108 degrees. 2.5 miles, 4.023 kilometers. The short chute, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. The final races before the playoffs. Penultimate race of the season coming down to the line. We are looking now for a green flag. Dylan, we're underway. It's time to bring the action here at the world's greatest race course, iRacing's Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Kerr, the purple car, the purple machine number 12. Ford out in front, heading to the short chute, heading to turn number 1.
Yeah, already got a little bit of a gap over P number 2. Everybody's still trying to jockey for position. Don't want to go side by side through the short chute. The car on the outside is going to get a little bit more tighter than what the car on the inside does, but so far looking good. Everybody able to get down into that single file, except for that back in the pack. A couple of cars making it 3 wide going into turn number 3. They're going to be able to make it out of alive, making sure that nobody gets connected with anybody else. But now back down to double file towards the back still, as Zach Kerr still going to be looking to be passed. Oh, yeah.
Already a car's on pit road, by the way. Number 12 on pit lane. Something going on with the number 12 Ford. We'll have to get an update from race control to find out what's going on with him. Now, Ethan Winter will move to the top spot. Britton Hobson, who's, by the way, got his first NASCAR victory on Tuesday night a couple of days ago at Sonoma in the BMG Xfinity Series, the Burling Motor Group Series. That's every Tuesday night, by the way. He now sits in second. And a champion of last year, Micklemore. There's your top three, Dylan, as they work the back straightaway heading to the short chute in turn 3.
Yeah, you can see there the number 7 of Sam Chapman looking down to the inside of Josh Micklemore. Josh not going to play a big part of that.
Oh.
He just kind of let him go, but not so much, as they're still going to be side by side, getting ready to go across the yard of bricks for the 3rd time here tonight at Indianapolis.
Down the front straightaway, we're just getting started with this one. Obviously, as we mentioned, 100 laps, and oh my goodness. Oh, hold on, guys. Newman up high, tries to stick it 3 wide in the middle of the corner. Hold on to that. Somehow they saved it, and they worked back into the corner. Nobody jumping out of the line. It's now Winter leading. Hobson second, Chapman, Burke, and Newman to the top 5 as they work the back straightaway, Dylan.
Yeah, Brad Newman, one of those racers that wants to be aggressive 100% of the time, getting a little bit of a twofer going down into turns number 1 and 2, able to make a pass on Micklemore and the number 6 of Lewis Greathead, setting himself up pretty nicely in the top 5. I could see the number 1 machine putting himself up there, making his stride towards the front, but look at that. Just a nice long snake all the way down the front stretch, and then now all of a sudden you see everybody starting to fan out, trying to get a little bit of consciousness where to let off the gas and get on the little bit of brake that you need to get through turn number 1 and 2.
You always mention, obviously, snaking in the world of open-wheel Indy cars, if you will, Dylan, but these cars are doing it here now in the Australian NASCAR Series here in the early going. This is round 12. We're on lap number 4 of 100. That's 10 miles in, by the way, of this race. Currently, that'd be 250 miles here tonight. 100 laps the distance here. That is half the distance of what the Indianapolis 500-mile race would be. Winner, Hobson, Chapman, Burke, Newman, top 5 in the early going. Greathead back to 6. Micklemore 7th. Freer. It's Mead, Danson, top 10. They thunder down the front straightaway, across the yard of bricks, past the pagoda and the scoring pylon, Dylan, going to turn 1.
Yeah, going into turn number 1, you can see everybody kind of running a little bit of a different line, going through the short chute and into the long sweeping turns. Some drivers getting all the way down to that white rumble strip, others not wanting to get anywhere near it. Some drivers prefer it, some don't. But I know from previous races of me racing over here on iRacing where sometimes that rumble strip can kind of come up and bite you in the rear if you're not too careful.
Wayne Burke on board with him. But it dominated at the Chicago Street Race 2 weeks ago, but right now he is currently outside the top 3. He's in 4th. Started this race in 8th. He's got the Toyota number 7 for Team Connie of Sam Chapman in front of him here in the early going of this nighttime race here in Indianapolis. 2 races left in the regular season before the push to the playoffs. There's been 5 different winners of the year and 11 events. Round 12 tonight. And right now, Sam Chapman trying to hold off Burke as they work their way into the short chute, heading to the back straightaway off 2.
Yeah, you can see there, Burke really wanted to try and make a pass on the number 7 of Sam Chapman, but knew that he wasn't going to be able to get the pass done right then and there. Decided to tuck back in line, wait for his right move, try to get around him before the next set of corners, as he's kind of slowly starting to reel in that number 7 machine, but still just wanting to be a little bit patient. But he's got a mean number 1 machine of Brad Newman right on his tail, so he's got to do something because Brad might be looking to make it 3 wide again going into 1. Just going to tuck back into line down into turn number 1.
And there's that nice battle there, as you just mentioned, Dylan. Now to the inside, Brad Newman tries to make the move again on Chapman. That is the top 3 right there. Throw a blanket over him with Winter, Hobson, Chapman, and there is Burke now. Behind them, trying to get him up from the rear view mirror to your top right of the monitor. All this going on now as they thunder down the back straightaway. Change up for position now. Here comes Burke. He'll go to the inside of Chapman. Here comes Newman. 2 for 1 as he licks his chops on the west end of the Speedway. Short shoot through 3 and 4. Contact made down to the inside. Trading pain is Newman. Newman gets into Chapman. They hold their line as they work off 4.
Just a nice little friendly body slam there. A little bit of tightness from Brad Newman being down on the inside, but nothing too bad about it. Just with Chapman getting a little bit tight coming off of the short shoot onto turn number 2. Tank slapped the wall just a little bit, made him lose 2 positions, but he's still in the running, still running back there in P number 5, so he's still not out of it, as is still Ethan Winter controlling this field. Got himself up to a 2.6 second gap over second place.
Oh, the rumble of those cars. Working now 20 miles into it. 230 miles left to go here in this race. Still a long way to go. 8 laps completed as they work off the corner. It's still going to be Winter. That's Ethan Winter up in front. He'll lead the way. Brenton Hobson second, Wayne Burke, and look at them now snake, if you will, snaking, staying in line, funneling from a conga line from one side of the straightaway to the other, and they'll hit their way back to turn 1.
Yeah, hitting their way back into turn number 1, and this is one of those type of tracks, Wes, where the draft is very dependent here. You want to be right up on the back bumper of the next car to help push you forward. With Ethan being out that far, he's got no help, but looks like everybody kind of behind him, second on back. They have a little bit of distance between each other. They're not really trying to push the issue. They're not trying to force the issue. They just want to get through the first 35 to 40 laps. See if they can't make it as long as they possibly can before our first round of pit stops go on, as everybody is now single file. No big battles going on throughout the whole racetrack. And this is kind of what you're going to see here at Indianapolis is, Jason Holdsworth.
Oh, the 10 and the 8, they get together. Douglas and Holdsworth crashing into the entrance of the pit lane. And the caution will come out for the first time in Indianapolis on lap number 9. Contact made. The 10 and the 8 of Holdsworth and Douglas get together. They spin and enter onto the pit lane. The 19 might have had a piece of it as well. Lachlan Mead, he hit the wall. He gets into the 10, and it's a chain reaction, cause and effect from there, Dylan. First caution of the race at Indy.
Yeah, and Jason Holdsworth, just an innocent bystander trying to just get away from it as best as he possibly can. He thought he was all the way clear, and then it said, nope, not today, just getting clipped by the number 10, just ever so slightly, sending him on into a nice little 360. But it looks like not a lot of damage for Jason Holdsworth. Going to slide it on into pit lane. Can't wait to see how much damage Jason Holdsworth has on that number 8 machine. Hopefully his night is not done.
Remember, you got to remember, they don't have fast repairs in this series. They go on what we call the damaged vehicle policy, like in real life. They'll have to take time to try to repair their cars. There's a lot of damage on that number 10 of Holdsworth's car. There it is. Dave Douglas now as he bypassed Jason Holdsworth's car. Number 8 as they go to the pit lane. This is, by the way, a race recap so far. 10 laps in of 100, 90 to go. Ethan Winter was gone in that number 39 Toyota until the caution came out. And right now, he is the leader. 1 caution, 1 lead change, and right now, do you come to pit lane? Remember, you got that opportunity on a 100% fuel capacity. No fast repair in this series. 4 sets of tires. That is 3 sets extra, plus the ones they qualified on, if you will. Dylan, you got to make a decision here, but I just don't think it's worth coming down pit road right now, just 10 laps in. I really don't.
I mean, if you're running as hard as Brad Newman is out there on the racetrack, obviously making a 3 wide, 2 wide, making very aggressive moves, it wouldn't be a bad call to come in, get maybe some tires, but also fill the tank a little bit more, as it looks like everybody's going down.
They all called my bluff. Here comes a kaleidoscope of colors. Hey, buddy, find your seat. There is about to be a lot of flurry of activity on the pit lane here in front of the pagoda at the Yard of Bricks, as almost everybody, and I do mean everybody, the pace car, poor Peter, the pace car driver, is on the track by solo on his own. By the way, Nitro Racing, a part of the Australian NASCAR Championship E-Series and Australian Motorsport Network. If you'd like to know more, join the Nitro Racing Discord at Nitro Garage. Pit stops going on. By the way, Dylan, did we ever get any update about what happened to the 12 car? Remember that guy, fast man, Zach Burr, led one lap, came down to the pit lane. Wonder if something happened to him. Did he get busted for a penalty for maybe jumping the start early on the 12, maybe?
I have not heard anything from race control here tonight on what happened to Zach Kerr. Was able to not go to a lap down, so he's going to be at the tail end of the field. Definitely want to know exactly what happened to Zach Kerr. That was kind of weird, obviously getting a really good start and then obviously going down into pit lane before lap number 2. Not how you really want to start your race, but everybody knows it's not how you start. It's always about how you finish.
And by the way, the old cliche, to first win the race, you must first finish, right? You got to get there to the checkered flag. You got to survive the shenanigans right now. All of you awesome Aussies, thank you for joining us for coverage of the, you awesome Aussies, man. Yes, sir. Us we got 2 Americans now getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I don't feel crazy anymore. Dylan McDonald and, yeah, man, telling you, like, yeah. By the way, Dean, it's Dylan without the D, not Dylan D. McDonald. It's not like a rapper, Dylan McDonald. So, old McDonald had Dylan without the D, right? So, you do got my name correctly, though. You can find me on Facebook though under Outland Wellesley is my Facebook account. Thanks to the CIA operatives of putting me a new account together. Actually, he lives in Indianapolis. Outland Wellesley, yeah. But anyhow, you can also find Australian NASCAR Championships and the NASCAR Championship E-Series also. And I think we're finally, Dean got it good, back on the wheel, the hamster back on the wheel. We're on Facebook as well. Live streaming on YouTube and Facebook. So we're broadcasting on Twitch. Boy, I better make sure my mama, don't get mad at me and grab a Switch. So Twitch. We're on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. We've got you covered. By the way, don't forget the next round of the Burley Motor Group Xfinity Series. That, of course, is with me and Nigel in the booth. That'll be, of course, on Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Motorsport Australia. All right, Dylan, what are you watching here as we'll get ready to go back for a restart here? Winner had a strong car. A lot of people were in the chat box, and one of them said no fuel saving for Winner. Well, now we re-rack everybody, reset it. Ethan Winter came down pit lane first. He leaves pit road first, and we're ready to go for a restart with him in P1.
Yeah, definitely going to be watching to see if Winter can break out to that little bit of a gap that he had in that first run. It's going to be a little bit different now that everybody's going to be bunched back up, but with Newman being back in P at number 5, is he going to make a daring pass down to the inside and make a 3 wide? Answer, probably yes, but it's going to be, when is he going to make the pass, and when is he going to show his nose? If I'm Bork, I'm going to be watching my mirror every time I go into a corner, especially with Newman sitting right behind me.
Set up your top 5 as we get ready to come back for a restart. Pace car will get ready to make the left-hand turn onto the pit lane, and we'll go back to the restart zone. It's Ethan Winter and Matt Danson on the front row. By the way, up 17 spots, the second place car is now in the 30. Wayne Burke and, of course, Brenton Hobson. They were the most recent winners of the Tuesday series. Wayne Burke won at Chicago here a couple of weeks ago for the Sunday night program. Brad Newman, top 5. We bring the action back to you here at the world's greatest race course in Indianapolis. So head away back into turn number 1 to the short chute here at the 2.5-mile layout. It's Winter and Danson. Toyota, Chevrolet, single file as they work their way to you, Dylan, in turn 2.
Yeah, a really good restart there for Brad Newman, but Danson all over the back bumper, dancing on the back bumper of that number 39 of Ethan Winters. Going to try to show his hand here. He's going to look down to the inside. Ethan's going to move up just a little bit. Doesn't want to get into him. But now they're going to be side by side going through the short chute. Can Ethan? Oh, hard on the outside wall. He's going to lose not one, but 2 spots. He's going to fall back down to P number 3.
Somehow they'll hold it together, man. My goodness, that could have been really big trouble, like lyrics to the Tom Petty song, Free Falling. And it did happen. Right now, Matt Danson, the new leader, by the way. The 30 car. Not Ted Danson from Cheers. Matt Danson, you Aussie, number 30. Chevrolet leads them into turn number 1 and 2 now, Dylan.
Down into turns number 2 goes Danson. He's got a little bit of a gap, but he's still in the draft as he gets a little bit sideways. He's dancing that rear end all over the racetrack, and here comes Wayne Burke looking down on the inside, setting up for turn number 2. Side by side, here we go. Wayne taking over the race lead, a new race leader on lap number 11 or 12.
So actually, we're heading towards lap 15, my friend. Get called up. We're trying to add more laps than what there is, and that's okay. Look at this. Oh, contact! Winner in the 30. Get together. Danson and Winner crash. Matt Danson might have led 1 lap. Winner and Danson below the bottom of the racetrack apron. No caution. And it hurts the 39 and the 30. We stay green. It is now Wayne Burke, the new leader, as they work into turn number 2.
Yeah, no caution for that. Surprisingly, but everybody able to get the car back up and going. Is Ethan Winter able to keep his car going, but the biggest loser out of that whole bunch is going to be the number 30 of Matt Danson, as he's got heavy damage on that rear end of the number 30 machine.
And that was crazy. I think we're going to try to go to the production truck. Bigglestein hopped in. We can find a replay between the 39 and the 30. If a caution happens, we will break in, or maybe we can go side by side and still show you the live coverage while we are showing a replay. Watch this. 17 of 100 laps heading into the first 50 miles of this one here at lap number 20. And we are trying to find the replay for you. It did not trigger a caution. Hello, Brady Baldwin, Trevor Micklemore, Project 36, all of you awesome people. Here's a replay of what happened up ahead. Danson in the 30, Winner in the 39. He led 1 lap, and then it all went downhill out of the short chute in 3 and 4 there, Dylan.
Yeah, definitely not what Matt Danson wanted to see happen, but that is what happens in racing. You gotta expect the least expected. Thought Danson was going to be up there in the clear. Just wrong time, wrong place for the number 30 machine, as he's now taking it down at pit road to get that number 30 machine repaired.
By the way, again, as we mentioned, it did not trigger a caution. Wayne Burke in the lead. He's out in front. Britton Hobson second. Brad Newman third. Tom Freer and Sam Chapman, your top 5. That's 3 Chevrolets and 2 Toyotas. Then you got a Ford of Zach Kerr. Fast qualifier. Led the opening lap to the green, and then the points leader came down pit road. We're still yet to find out what happened to the Purple 12. That driver, of course, leading the points with 5 wins on the year. Most of anybody with 7 top 5s and 10 top 10s. As right now we're heading 50 miles into it. And the winner 2 weeks ago at the Chicago Street Course, Dylan, it's now in P1 as he crosses the pagoda. The yard of brick, then he set side into turn 1.
Yeah, he built himself up a nice little lead. Everybody else just kind of being in that strategic straight line, just want to use their draft to their advantage. These drivers can go about 35 laps without the draft being in their favor. Look at about 40 laps on a full tank of fuel with the draft. So they pit on lap 10. They can go till about lap 50. But who's going to play the short game? Who's going to kind of short pit a little bit earlier? Who's going to run it out until it's completely dry? But Zach Kerr is a man on a mission, already back up to P number 6, looking at the back bumper of the number 7 of Sam Chapman.
Down the front straightaway, Tom Freer. There he is with that 41 car. He'll set his sights now on the 1 car of Newman. No, Wayne Burke, who leads the race, was the man who won a couple of weeks ago. And right now, battling for second and third. Hobson, Newman, don't worry, guys. We're having a combo with our. We're not going loco, Aussies. We're having a combo with our producer in our ear. While you can't hear him, but we can hear him. Nonetheless, Burke, Hobson, Newman, Freer, and Chapman right now the top five. And boy, shaking to, if you will, in the words of AWB, pick up the pieces has got to be the 39 of Winter and the 30 of Danson. Danson got the worst for wear. Matt Danson continuing to make pit stops still in McDonald. He's on the damage clock. Ethan Winter, though, still staying on the racetrack right now in the top 15, still on the lead lap as they come to the line.
Yeah, looking at Ethan Winter's car right now, there's no damage that I can see on my side of the table here. So Ethan Winter kind of lucked out with that whole scramble there with Matt Danson. Matt Danson obviously on the damage clock, trying to get as much fix as he possibly can to get back out there and get some laps back. But this is the point in the time of the race where you can start to see everybody getting a little bit loose coming out of turn number 2 and turns number 4. Short shoot, not so much, but the long straightaways down into the heavy braking zone coming out of the second to last corners. That's whenever you're going to start seeing the rear end start stepping out on everybody, as a lot of people have already fallen off to the victim of the wall. You could say it's kind of like Darlington, get your Darlington stripe, but I guess we can call it the Speedway stripe here in Indianapolis.
And there goes the number 14. That's Richie. Got to the inside. Ethan Winter trying to pass by him. Boy, I would not want to put my hands between those cars side by side. Nose to tail now. Becoming side by side for that position. Give Winter the pass on Richie. As we head again 50 miles into this event here at the world's greatest race course. Indianapolis Motor Speedway tonight for Motorsport Australia Esports. Next race in 2 weeks with the World Center of Racing, Daytona International Speedway. And we got contact. Lachlan Mead almost into Richie. Beep, beep, Richie. Beep, beep. He goes up the hill. Mead to the inside. That battle goes on now in the top 15 into the short shoot in 3 and 4 there, Dylan. Somehow they hold it together.
Yeah, elbows out all the way back here for a battle for the P number 12 position. Going to be side by side, 19 and 14 going into turn number 1 and 2. Mead not going to be able to get the position on the number 14, but he's going to force him a little bit higher. He's going to have a little bit of a run coming down through the short chute. Going to try to make this pass nice and clean off of turn number 2. Looks like he's going to be able to finally do it as Richie gets into the outside wall, but he's got the 13. Going to give him a little bit of a push down the back stretch as you got 3 Toyota Supras lined up in a row for P number 12.
Wayne Burke continues to lead up 7 spots. Brad Newman second up 7 spots. That's the 89 and the 1. Speaking of another battle going on, the 12 car trying to climb out of the cellar. Get back in the battle. That's the 12, the points man leader, and the man that started on the pole. Zach Kerr in the purple 12 now into the top 5.
Yeah, good little recovery run for the number 12 of Zach Kerr. This is a man on a mission. Yes, Newman was a man on a mission now, but Newman sitting comfortably in P number 2, but Zach Kerr trying to get back up there, trying to see what he can do in the air or in the lead with the clean air. Everybody knows, especially at a big track like Indianapolis or any track in a stock car, clean air is definitely going to be king for wherever you're racing at. Is Zach Kerr trying to catch up to the back of Tom Freer, just not able to make up a little bit of time here and there, just not enough to get alongside of that number 41.
What a phenomenal job by Wayne Burke, trying to go back-to-back, by the way. Got his first series win of the season 2 weeks ago with the Chicago Street Race. By the way, he dominated. The racing was phenomenal in the back, but up in front, it was Burke, and he never looked back, got his win. Makes the 5th different winner of 11 races, race number 12 tonight. And currently there is the number 89. There's the interval, by the way. Closing in on a 3-second gap from first to second for Burke to Newman. That's Chevrolet and Toyota. That's first and second. How about Britton Hobson? Dylan finally broke through in the BMG Xfinity Series victory lane for his first ever Australian NASCAR esports victory this past Tuesday night. And Britton Hobson now with the Synergy number 88 winning at Sonoma. Now trying to do well here in third. Right now about 4 seconds back. And Tom Freer, man of the 41 cars, solidly in the top 5. And Zach Kerr, his Ford, started on the pole, came down the pit lane before the completion of lap 1. He has climbed his way out of the cellar, if you will, after one caution, and he has worked his way now back into the top 5 in that Ford for your points leader there, Dylan.
Yeah, working his way back up to the top 5. Was breathing down the neck pretty hard on the number 41. The 41 get a little bit sideways off of corner exit, tapping the outside wall, but Zach Kerr not able to capitalize on that move. Decided better of it, not going to put himself in a position where it'll either wreck himself or wreck the number 41. So just going to kind of draft behind the number 41 and look for that ample opportunity. Indianapolis, one of those types of tracks where you want to aim your car towards the pass on the exit of the corner. And Zach Kerr using all of the rumble strips. There is, Britton Hobson into the outside wall, but not going to be able to lose a position. But now look at that. Zach Kerr going to be side by side with the number 41. Can he make it a 2-for-1 going down the long back straightaway here at Indy?
He will try to go for that. Look at this amazing battle going on inside. Kerr to the inside. Sets his side on Hobson up top shelf. Here comes now Chapman and Freer. 4 or 5 cars battling for third. It heats up now as they work through the short chute off of turn number 4 off the west end of the Speedway.
And this is where it's going to get a little bit interesting. Where does Chapman go? Where does Freer go? It's going to be 2 by 2 for the long straightaway down across the yard of bricks. But who's it going to be now? Everybody kind of disbanded the number 12 machine, but it's going to be Zach Kerr getting around the number 88. He's going to be setting himself up for P number 3. Now, does he pull the number 88 of Britton Hobson with him to catch Brad Newman? Or does he kind of want to try to get away from the number 88 machine and kind of make it just a little 2-man run at the number 1 machine?
Very good question. Mates and mateys of the Aussie world, we thank you for joining us on our broadcast of Motorsport Australia. Dylan McDonald, Wesley Outland from the USA, our Australian producer is Bigglesteen Hopton, always in a great mood, always making us sound good, make the broadcast look good. All the people behind the scenes, obviously. And right now, round 11 tonight. Thanks for all of y'all watching. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe to keep up with the coverage. Right now, it is still Burke in the lead. Kerr, oh boy, contact for a minute. Hobson, Chapman, and this opens the door to Tom Freer, licking his chops, coming through. He'll take that spot away. He'll move to 5th, put Hobson back a couple of spots as they work to turn 3.
Yeah, this is one of the questions of, running Indianapolis. The corners don't look that bad, especially when you go into the corner. You're like, I ain't got to slow down I don't have to slow down that much. But as you get into the corner, you start to realize how much you really got to slow down, get off the gas, let the car roll, get it pointed, get it turned, whatever you got to do, so that way you don't hit the wall on the outside. Because the more you hit the wall with that right side, the more the toe is going to hurt the car, or you're going to pick up a little bit of damage. So, especially with it being Indianapolis and being so draft dependent, you want to have the car as clean as you possibly can. And Tom Freer and Britton Hobson both in the outside wall. But here comes Freer looking on the outside this time. Going to give the preferred lane to the number 88, but he's going to be able to get around him before the corner even starts. So move Tom Freer back into the top 4.
We're being told, I don't know anything about Twitch. I was thinking about switches whenever y'all were talking about switches, but that happened to me as a kid. But nonetheless, Twitch, I think, is acting up. And we do apologize for that inconvenience. But Facebook and YouTube, is still up and going. Maybe what we can do is put up an archive of the race on Twitch after it concludes. Maybe we'll let the powers that be at Australian NASCAR E-Series and Motorsport Australia Esports know what's going on. As right now, we are heading to 70 laps to go. 30 laps completed. Burke the leader, Newman second, Kerr third, Freer fourth, Thompson your top 5. Chapman, Greathead, Micklemore, Winter, and Beaumont now the top 10. We're single file. Things kind of calm down. One caution so far slowing this race now as they work their way back into turn number 4 they're dealing.
Yeah, working their way back into turns number 3 and 4. Being somewhat due diligent here, kind of running it single file. There's looks like a couple little bit of battles throughout the field, but look how far they have already spread out throughout the whole field, and this is exactly what the racing is like for anything at Indianapolis. It doesn't matter if it's IndyCar or stock cars. The draft, you get away from it, you're just going to have a couple of packs throughout the race course. It's just like Talladega and Daytona and somewhat at the new Atlanta. So you can definitely pick up what everybody else is doing all the way around the racetrack. Is still Wayne Bork still in the race lead. Zach Kerr kind of bringing everybody with him. Is Tom Freer still sitting P number 4? P number 4. But anything can happen as we come in around to take lap number 33 out of 100.
And we certainly are. Sam Chapman from views of the front and the rear cameras. Finkelstein hopped in on that production, showing you the action going on as Burke is way ahead of Newman. Behind Newman, well, here comes the battle now. Or Chapman, actually. Hobson, Chapman in front of him. There's Greathead now, trying to run down the 88 car. All this going on now is, again, that synergy. Number 88 of Brenton Hobson won the BMG X Series Tuesday night program. Lewis Greathead now setting his sights on that Chevrolet. By the way, join us this upcoming Tuesday night on Australia NASCAR Esports for coverage of the BMG X Series. Season number 2 continues, and we are going to Dover Motor Speedway. Join yours truly, Wesley Outland, Nigel Siddell for coverage. Finkelstein hopped on production. That is every Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Australian time, 6 a.m. USA time. I'll be with you. And don't forget also the Awesome Aussies on the call of the Thursday night series of the Australian NASCAR Truck Series. That, of course, is your 3 affiliates throughout the week on Motorsport Australia. Well, Dylan, things have calmed down. We are closing in on halfway in about 15 laps. What are you watching so far in the first, if you will, 100 miles?
So far, seeing who's being patient, who's saving their tires, who's saving a little bit of fuel to kind of take the longevity run, who's going to run more than what you're predicted to run, and who's making the risky moves, as one would say. Who's willing to take the chance at putting themselves into that vulnerable position where other drivers wouldn't do it. So it's kind of a little bit of a back and forth, as you may just kind of seeing where these drivers' heads are at. I mean, it's Indianapolis. It's a long track. It's a little over 2.5 miles. So you got a lot of time to think about what you want to do all the way out through this racetrack. And it's always what if. It's not about, well, I did that. What's going to end up happening?
No, you're exactly right. And obviously, we're watching all this going on here. So, by the way, I'm understanding one driver has not pitted yet. And is it West? Is it West that's not pitted yet? I think it is. Number 13, Brenton West. His Toyota in 12th position. He's ran 35 laps when he comes to the line. He is the only driver that has not come down to the pit lane. And Jason Holdsworth, who got in an accident earlier now, back on pit lane. Maybe an undercut for the Toyota number 8 machine of Jason Holdsworth.
On board here with Brenton. I'm going to see if this driver is going to try to clutch a little bit, trying to be on the same, little bit of pit strategy with the other drivers. No clutching, just letting out. So maybe that caution kind of helped him out. I mean, obviously running 10 laps, you're not going to burn a lot of fuel if you're in the draft, but if you're somebody like Ethan Winter, that was all the way out in the front, you're going to use more fuel than what you wanted to. But definitely going to see who's going to be doing a little bit of a clutch kick all the way throughout the corners. But so far, everybody's still running at full bore. Pit stop's going to be happening here in about 15 to 20 laps.
Pit stops are happening. As, by the way, Wayne Burke is out in front. He leads the way. Newman second, Kerr third. Now, the 12th car of Kerr started on the pole. He fell back at the completion of the first lap. We need to find out the next caution if we get one, if what happened there with the one. I did message Nigel Siddell, the race director, to find out what happened there. No word has been given to me yet on that. And I'm wondering, maybe was it a mistake? Was it something that he did, a penalty? I don't know. Craig Head now, Great Head, and Hobson. The 6 and the 88 now, trying to hold off former BMG Series, Micklemore, defending champion, the 31, down to the inside. That's for 6 through 8 as they work off 3 and 4. Are we going to go 3 wide? They thought about it, threading the needle. Hobson up top shelf there as they work into 3 and 4.
Micklemore all over the back bumper of that number 6 machine, though. He's going to lose a little bit of time, but he's going to be right there on the back bumper going into turn number 1 and 2. Micklemore trying to show that, hey, I still have a little bit left in the tank. I'm going to show you guys what I did to win that championship last season, and I'm still here, and I still got some stuff to prove to all these drivers out here tonight. As look at him just slinging it on in there, going to get a good run out of turn number 2. Look at him make it too wide, but not going to have the run that he thought that he was going to have. He's going to have to conserve and stay back there in P number 7.
In the words of Elton John, I'm still standing, if you will. Right now, trying to hold them off. Josh Micklemore. Yeah, we're trying to find out if it was a jump start. Thank you for your interaction with us in the chat box. Jordan Jurassic in the house, a former NASCAR champion of the NASCAR Truck Series, Top Series. Jordan Jurassic, I think he's in Korea, I think is what it was telling me with his job. But nonetheless, he works overseas. Thank you for what he does for our country. But nonetheless, thank you, Jordan Jurassic. Jordan Jurassic, like the new Jurassic Park movie, if you will, Dylan. And thanks for everybody joining us as we are closing in on 100 miles in this race at lap number 40. 150 miles to go and 10 laps also to the halfway mark of this race also, Dylan. We're wondering if Zach Kerr, the pole man, jump-started. That's the conversation. If the 12 jumped the start, if there was a penalty here, we go back to the beginning, if you will, Dylan. Now, remember, the leader has the right to fire. He is the pole man. So my question is, did he advance his position, pull up in a second lane? Yes, that's exactly what it is. If you watch the restart, if you watch the start of the race there, Dylan McDonald, he went from the bottom lane, pulled up in the top lane before he just got to the start-finish line. There was a penalty to the 12 for doing just that. You cannot switch lanes until you get to turn 1 on the initial start. That's where the penalty come from for Zach Kerr.
Well, I definitely don't want to see it, but at least it happened on the initial start, so now he's got that in the memory bank for any restart that ends up happening here later in the going. As we have a car down a pit road, believe that is going to be the number 39, Ethan Winters, finally going down in a pit lane. So pitting on lap number 40, going to play a little bit of the undercut here, going to see what he ends up doing. But I'm kind of looking at the number 89 right now in the number 1. Brad Newman has tracked down the number 89 drastically, has got it down under half a tenth of a second. Brad Newman looking to take that race lead and not look back.
Oh, and by the way, that interval that Wayne Burke had, it has evaporated. It is gone. Half a second now Brad Newman's Toyota running down in the number 1 car, looking for P1 on the 89 of Wayne Burke. We're at 100 miles into this race, 40 laps completed. Let's give you your top 10 now. Chevrolet Wayne Burke continues to lead. He's up 7 spots. Brad Newman, as the battle for the lead continues and green flag pit stops take place, he's in second. Zach Kerr, the pole man, the points leader, now back to third in his Ford. Chevrolet Tom Freer is fourth in the 41. Sam Chapman's Toyota down the top 5. Then it's a couple of Chevrolets in 6th, 7th, and 8th of Lewis Greathead in the 6th, the 31 of Josh Micklemore, and Brenton Hobson in 88. Then it's a Ford and a Toyota to round out the top 10 of Fitzroy Beaumont and Lachlan Mead. There's been 1 caution so far in the first 100 miles, and green flag pit stops are happening for the first time in the race as well, Dylan.
Yeah, that's definitely the thing that we really got to watch out for, especially with the cone being out as long as quick as it is Ethan Winters going to be getting his lap back to Bill Elliott way, looking to get around Brad Newman, and look at the advantage of new tires against old tires. Tires definitely going to make a big difference here as he's looking down to the inside. Wayne just says, hey, you know what? I'm not battling you for position. You got fresh tires. I'm going to go ahead and let you go on by. I'm not going to put myself in a position to where I can get in trouble here, as Zach Kerr starting to make up a little bit of ground on the top 2 here as of right now.
There it is. By the way, West has still not pitted. We're understanding now he's getting ready to commit to come to the pit lane. He cannot go any further. He went 42 laps. Britton West did before that 13. Gave up a top 10 run. He's on pit lane right now in that Toyota. More cars on the pit lane, include Tom Freer on pit exit. He's boxing. Here comes Brenton West in, as I mentioned. Shane Bowen in the 38 Ford. He's on the pit lane. All this happening now between lap number 41 and 43. Other cars that just exited pit lane are Henry King and Aaron Gilbert, and it is still Wayne Burke the leader, as there's a battle now going on between Greathead and the 31 of Micklemore as they work into the corner again out of 2.
Micklemore trying to do what he can, but there's 2 great battles going on. Micklemore trying to get around the number 7, the 7 of Sam Chapman, not able to do so as of right now. And then you got the race for the battle for the race lead. Brad Newman trying to do what he can do, but Wayne Burke working that inside lane, not showing any weakness to the number 89, or Wayne Burke not showing any weakness to the number 1 machine, not going to let him get around that easily, trying to go back-to-back here at Indianapolis.
And Wayne Burke still in the lead for how long, though? He's led 30 laps of this race so far of the 44. And he's got the 1 of Newman, right behind him. Here comes Brenton Hobson. Here comes Lachlan Mead. They're teammates for Team Synergy, and they're on the pit lane here. Leaders have not pitted yet.
And here we go. We got a pass for the race lead. Brad Newman down to the inside. He's going to take over the race lead. He's going to be able to get a lap led here at Indianapolis. Unless these 2 drivers decide to go into pit lane, is going to be Brad Newman to the point for the first time here at Indianapolis. Brad Newman off turns number 4 is going to lead him across the yard of bricks. And Wayne Burke just trying to stay in that draft. Doesn't want to let Brad Newman get away momentarily, obviously, but still going to put up a great fight trying to stick on that back bumper and say, hey, you know what? Let's see what Brad Newman's doing on what I am not doing and see if I can't just make my car a little bit faster.
The Toyota of Brad Newman leading the way, closing in on the halfway mark of this race. About to be 125 miles in the next 4 laps. That'll be lap number 50. And we'll be at the halfway mark of this one. So far, 45 minutes in race time with a 2-hour, 10-minute time limit if need be. Partly cloudy conditions and track temp now at 105 degrees. We've now worked 82 degrees sim temp. Winds around 6 miles an hour, still partly cloudy, humidity conditions at 43%. And here comes more cars. The front runners, Newman, Burke, Kerr. Sounds like a law firm. That's the trio on pit road. Dylan, down to you.
Yeah, down into pit lane. Everybody getting slowed on down to that 55 mile an hour speed limit into pit lane. It's such a long pit lane going down in here, as getting into their pit lane is going to be easy enough, but getting out, you don't want to speed, you don't want to do this, you don't want to do that, is both into their boxes nice and clean. Zach Kerr's got a little bit longer to go. 2 tires on the right sides and then another set on the lefts for your top 3 here tonight. You're going to see who's going to be able to get out in front and who will be able to resume the race lead, as the 89 going to be able to beat Brad Newman out of pit lane.
Pit stops are happening. Approaching halfway, now Sam Chapman, who last pitted on lap 11. His Toyota now. There he is, the black and silver Team Connie entry. Not anymore. Hashtag fake news, you Aussie. He's coming down the pit lane. Lewis Greathead, Josh Micklemore trying to get busted for not speeding, entering. They're now in. Fitzroy Beaumont will follow. Everybody cycles onto the pit lane now, and it looks like Tom Freer will now be the new leader, Dylan, when he comes back to the line in the 41 car.
Yeah, Tom Freer all by himself, no draft, no help, no nothing. He's going to come around and resume the race lead once he gets around the number 31 of Josh Micklemore, as he's passing him right now. He's going to be the race leader, and then once he pits, he last pit on lap number 42, so he's good to go for a long time. So he's got nothing to worry about until the next round of pit stops, as Tom Freer has a nice little bit of a gap between him and Ethan Winter, who, by the way, got involved in that accident with Matt Danson. Ethan Winter worked his way all the way back up to P number 2, where he started tonight's race.
He pitted at lap number 42, and Ethan Winter pitted at lap 40. So 41 to 39, and now Wayne Burke now back to 3rd. There, of course, was the pit time, and when he came down pit lane, started the race in 7th, and Tom Freer leads the way in that number 41. Closing in on halfway in a couple of more laps, 125 miles down, and the second half left to go here for round number 12 in the penultimate race of the regular season for the Australian NASCAR E-Series Championship. Along with Dylan McDonald, I am Wesley Outland. Mr. Bigglestein hopped in on production. Hey, by the way, don't forget Nitro Racing. If you'd like to join Australian NASCAR E-Series and find more about Nitro Racing for oval setups in Cup, Xfinity, Truck, join the garage in Discord. Look up Nitro Racing. Join the family now. Freer, Winter, Burke, followed by Newman, Kerr. It was Kerr. He got busted for changing lanes on the start of the race. That was the cause of the penalty. Now, Dylan, it wasn't that intentional. He wasn't trying to cause an accident with anybody. He had plenty of distance from the outside front row, but the rule is on the initial start, it's like in real life. The flagman starts the race. You cannot advance your position and switch lanes until you get into turn 1 past the start-finish line. It clearly showed on the start that he was committed to moving into the outside lane. And that was the reason for the penalty. It was just a stop-and-go penalty. He has worked his way back from that little hiccup, that little boo-boo, if you will. And he has put himself in the top 5 right now. Only 5-6 seconds behind the leader, Freer.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's just kind of like a little mind thing. You know, you're so used to, you get a really good jump on the initial start. Oh, you know what? I cleared second place. Let's just move up to get myself a little bit of a better corner entry. And he probably just slipped his mind. You know, obviously, me and you, that would definitely slip our minds. We're up at 6 o'clock in the morning doing a broadcast. We're at 10 o'clock at night for them. So, I mean, they've had all day to be around where, you know, well, you had some sleep. I have not. So
I haven't slept.
Yeah, see, I even worked last night, too, and I was like, oh, yeah, absolutely, I'll hop in the broadcast booth, go out, play some golf after this, and have some fun. But, you know, it's kind of like if you don't practice your restarts and make sure that, you know, okay, I have to have the mental note of don't change lanes till after the start-finish line. I think that's what Zach Kerr ended up having. He was thinking, okay, just another official race. I'll just hurry up, swing up to the outside, and it kind of bit him right in the rear where you don't want it to bite you at. But still, a great run by Zach Kerr sitting P number 4. Only dropped 3 spots from where he started. The top 3, though, all battling for the highest mover. Up 6 positions for Tom Freer, up 6 for Wayne Bork, and up 6 for Brad Newman. Who's it going to be? I mean, to me, honestly, with it being Indianapolis, you got to have the nice cold cup of milk, and you got to do a shoey. It hands down, got to be able to
kiss the yard of bricks, right?
Yeah,
you got to. Yeah, a shoey, ain't that whenever you shoot the boot, basically, drink out of a boot?
Yep.
Shoot the boot, shoot the boot, shoot the boot. See, even though I'm an American, I know some of the Aussie things. A lot of people don't know this. My brother lives in Australia. He's lived in Australia for about 8 years. He lives in Wagga Wagga, Australia. Wonka, 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 Wagga Wagga. I tease my brother all the time when I do that. But Wagga Wagga, Australia is where my brother lives. And him and his wife, Liz, my nephew, Jason, they've been there for about 9 years. And, man, he keeps telling me I need to try to plan a trip down there. So, battle going on inside the 31, Micklemore. Getting around Meade for the top 10. That's going on as we're halfway home in this race. Second half underway now.
Yeah, second half underway. Josh Micklemore making quick and light work on the number 19 of Lachlan Meade. Still able to do what he needs to do. Going to kind of pull him up through the track, but still not able to get away.
Our producer's telling me he's going to take me out to dine me whenever I go to Australia. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to it. Vegemite sandwiches, kangaroo. He's going to take me to the Dungaroo. They call it the Dun. Ain't that the bathroom? The Dun? The Dun? The Loo? The Loo? The Dunny. The Dunny. The Loo is England. I'm sorry. But no, Dylan, to answer your question, brother, I've been wide open. I had meetings this morning. I got up and, man, I had to announce races at Caraway Speedway for TV in Asheboro, North Carolina today. We had severe weather, rain, thunderstorms. We were on a 4-hour weather delay. We didn't start racing until probably 10:30 at night. We finished by midnight, and that's about 150 miles from my house. So I drove all the way back from Asheboro, back home, packed up my equipment that I need for the radio call for the All-Star game this week, beginning tomorrow in Greensboro for 3 days. And I stayed awake, been binge-watching Martin. Martin, you remember 90s show Martin? And
yes.
I've stayed awake because my thing is like it's Nightmare on Elm Street. If I fall asleep, I might not wake up.
Not gonna lie, Wesley, I felt the exact same.
You're mine, Wesley.
I was sitting there, I'm like, I got off work at midnight, and mechanic at a bowling alley, so I'm messing with pin setters all night. So I was up in the ring. I got all the way home. I was like, oh yeah, I definitely got to get some sleep. 5 o'clock or 5:30 is going to come early. I just sat on my phone and scrolled through TikTok and watching racing on,
Dylan. Are by the way, is your name on Facebook Dilbo McBaggins?
It is not. So, little fun story about Dilbo McBaggins. Okay, I used to run for Team Conti for their setups. The truck builder Dustin Hall started calling me Dilbo. I don't know why.
That's not nice.
And then Eli Childs started calling me Dilbo, and then Dustin Hall for Team Conti said, "No, you're not Dilbo McDonald. You're Dilbo McBaggins." And it just ended up sticking, and I just kind of stick with that from now on.
Dilbo McBaggins. You're from Fort Wayne, Indiana, right?
Yes, sir.
On Facebook. So I sent you a friend request. So I got the right guy, right? Dilbo McBaggins, Dylan McDonald. Wearing a red shirt.
Yep.
I'm tracking you down while I'm doing a broadcast. I sent you a friend request. Now we're friends. Now we're officially broadcast friends. Battle for the lead going on. Burke, Freer, he's after him. Newman and Kerr licking their chops, ready to pounce on him like it's a delicious Vegemite sandwich waking up for breakfast for mates as they worked out of the short chute in turn 2.
Yeah, Wayne Burke able to make quick and light work of that, but look how quick Tom Freer is going to drop down the back. Brad Newman looking to the inside, going to try to make the pass on Tom Freer. So far, he's going to be able to do it. Is Tom Freer going to make his way around? Oh, gets into the wall, getting into the corner. Zach Kerr now has an opportunity to work his way back up to the top three as King gets out of the way for the race leaders. Smart move by the driver, but this is where it's going to get interesting. Where does King go going into turn number one? Does he lift a little bit early? He does. Zach Kerr back up to the top three.
By the way, that ding ding that you heard was not a wannabe Nabisco ad. That was actually the message to Dylan McDonald, letting him know that I tracked him on the world of social media and we're friends on Facebook now. So we're buddies working now to close it in on 40 laps to go, the final 100 miles of this one. And right now, Wayne Burke, who had a fight there for a minute, if you will, Dylan Newman on his inside. Kerr will follow. Freer and Winner, your top five. It settles down. There's the race recap so far, heading into the final 100 laps, or 100 miles, 40 laps of this race. Wayne Burke leading. One caution so far. 7 lead changes, and I got a feeling that tonight is going to be an Aussie night for more green flag pit stops before this race is over. Dylan, pardon the pun there. Pardon the pun. Yes, sir.
You know, everybody says Indianapolis is, this track. But little fun fact history for everybody out there that's watching. There's a track in Indiana. Wesley, I'm pretty sure you've probably heard of it. Winchester.
Oh, yeah. I've announced there.
Oh,
Winchester Speedway, the home of the Winchester 400.
Exactly. Did you know, back in the early days, the IndyCar drivers had to race at Winchester and able to run at Indianapolis 500 weekend?
That's exactly right. You had to qualify at Winchester, Indiana. That was back in the day whenever USAC sanctioned the IndyCar race. It was USAC sanctioned, USAC open wheel at Winchester. That was your way to qualify safety to make it into the Indianapolis 500-mile race.
I've been around for 29 years, and all my life I have been to Winchester one time. It was 2 years ago when Stephen Nasse and Gio Ruggiero got in their little scuffle. Other than that, I've never been to Winchester ever again. I've been trying to go back down there.
Was it that 2019, I believe? 2019, I believe? I think I was there for that, the Winchester 400.
2023, 2024, or something like that.
Okay. I've been to Winchester. I have seen when Stephen Nasse, and I will tell you this much. That place is banked. People don't realize it. Yeah. Winchester is 33, 34 degrees of banking. That's more than Daytona.
And Talladega.
Yeah. I mean, even Bristol. Like, it's banked at Winchester Speedway in Indiana. Back to the race at hand here, though. Burke is running away with this one.
But he's got Brad Newman right there. I mean, Brad Newman's kind of... I think right now Brad Newman's kind of in that tire preservation era in the race car. He's got Zach Kerr kind of following in his tracks, and Wayne Burke getting a little bit too close to that wall. Just gave it a little kiss. Doesn't want to get too spicy with it. Just wants to get it, just show it a little bit of love. Just give it a little love.
My apologies. Dylan, my apologies. It is 37 degrees of banking in the corners at Winchester.
Yeah, they call it the world's fastest half mile for a reason, and if anybody has ever seen videos at Winchester, it's absolutely amazing.
If you have justice. Yeah.
Yeah. Even in person, it just doesn't do justice. You'll hear something first before you see it. Just put it that way. But Brad Newman still trying to figure out a way, save a little bit of tire, but still being fast at the same time. He's still running the rumble strips. You see Zach Kerr getting away from those rumble strips here just a little bit, but Tom Freer, he's starting to fall back just a little bit. So maybe the little bit of a short pit. I mean, it's only 4-lap difference, right? So the top three all pit on lap number 46. Tom Freer pit on lap number 42, and then Ethan Winter, your top five, he pit on lap number 40. You can see the difference in tire management throughout the entire field. when do you want to take that last stop, Wes? If you're in this race, when do you want to make your final stop? Do you want to have fresher tires for the end of the race, or do you want to have fresher tires right now when you know that you can make it the rest of the race, but have that deficit going into the final couple laps?
I'm thinking between lap 70 and 75, my friend. Unless we get a late race caution, they're going to be coming down to the pit lane. If I'm keeping my numbers correct in my head, what we saw the first tally, I'm thinking honestly between 70 to 75. Chat box, what is your thoughts on that? Will we see a late race caution? Will somebody break ahead and go for an undercut? We saw that happen. It didn't work out for some of them. Maybe it'll try this time. We'll see it now as we work in to the final 40 laps, the final under 100 miles of this one, and actually it is 37 to go. So remember, a lap 70 to 78, I think I'm going to say pit lane will open, Wayne, Dylan, and Wayne Burke is trying to sweep. By the way, he won the Chicago Street Race 2 weeks ago for the Sunday Series of Australia NASCAR Championship. And now he's going back-to-back to solidify his right to be in the playoffs. But by the way, that will be after Daytona in 2 weeks, August 3rd. That's our next broadcast here.
Yeah, Wayne Burke trying to fight for his right to party in Daytona next week, even here in Indianapolis. But Brad Newman, look at the line that Brad Newman's running, so smooth. Doesn't get down on the rumble strips completely, but puts the left side tires underneath that white line. Wayne Burke, I guess, is watching his mirror, seeing how much of a run that Brad Newman gets out of the corner. He's going to go ahead and replicate that as well, as they're coming up on another lap traffic of Jason Holdsworth, who had that early incident in the beginning of the run. And one thing that I noticed when I was watching Jason Holdsworth, that right rear tire was pushed in so far that he had to sit on pit road and get that tire fixed. He had to do a whole facelift on the rear end of that number 8 machine, but looks to be solid and now, just not on the same pace of the top 5.
High above, aerial. You saw Wayne Burke taking him to the woodshed, if you will. This shot from the high above presented by Nitro Racing. Want to get more information, go on board the Discord for Nitro Racing.
See you there, Jason. Yes, sir.
Is Newman going to run down Burke before pit stops? That's the question right now, Dylan. It's, by the way, if you want to join the garage for Nitro Racing, go on their Discord at Nitro Racing. We'd love to have you right now from the Nitro Racing blimp above the racetrack. iRacing here on Motorsport Australia Esports. It is a battle now between Burke and Newman. They're in their own little battle. It's about a second and a half before they find Kerr. But right now, or Kerr, there right now is first and second. Will he catch him? Will he pass him? That's another thing before they pit for green flag pit stops, Dylan, as they work through the west end of the Speedway.
Well, on that first run there, Wes, Brad Newman did catch and pass Wayne Burke for the race lead before pit stops, but with Wayne having that pit stall right ahead of Brad Newman, he was able to get in and out of his pit box before Brad Newman did. But it's all going to come down to strategy. Who's going to be the person to take the chance on 2 tires? They took forward last time around. 2 tires does work. I've done it here in the past. Obviously, a new tire model here on iRacing, but if they conserve a little bit of tire wear for the remainder of the race, would you see a 2-tire call? I mean, it could be anything. Brad Newman, down to the inside, looking to put the pressure on the number 89. 89 is going to pinch him down on corner exit. Going to be side by side through the short chute and onto the front stretch. Off turn number 4, new race leader once again, Brad Newman in the number 1 machine.
That might be something we're watching. Newman now, the new man. Is Burke gonna fight for it back for the Team Connie Chevrolet in the 89? Does he know he needs to just strategically stay in behind him, come to pit lane? Right now, these drivers were carefully working around the racetrack. By the way, Daytona coming up in 2 weeks, as I mentioned. The playoffs are around the corner. There's a look at it. It starts at Darlington, August the 17th, and then we have Darlington, Richmond, Bristol, the first round. Back to the action, as that's the upcoming 3 weeks after Daytona, and we'll have it for you on Motorsport Australia Esports. Dylan and myself look forward to carrying you with the awesome sights and sound of producer Bigglestein Hopton on the road to the championship for Australian NASCAR. Wayne Burke trying to run him down. Sorry there, Dylan. He's going after Newman again in turn one, buddy.
Yeah, going after him again. But as these guys start battling, that's going to allow Zach Kerr to kind of make up a little bit of time. He made up a little bit of time with that pass from Brad Newman and on Wayne Burke. But now that they're single file, Zach's kind of leveled out a little bit. Zach's best friend would have to be Wayne getting to his inside or his outside of Newman and slowing them two down to make it a three-car battle. But now, like you said, the strategy, who's going to undercut it? If I'm Zach Kerr, I would try to position myself to where I go in one lap earlier over Brad Newman and Wayne Burke just to get that little bit of an advantage. You don't want to go in at the same time, especially with the gap that they have from second to third. I mean, looking at it now, it's only a 1.4 or 1 second on the leaderboard for Zach Kerr sitting back there in P number 3. But you got to do something a little bit differently to try to get yourself in that race lead. Is coming up on lap number 70 here. Brad Newman still pitching it in there. Now it's going to be, okay, what do I want to pit? What do I want to do? Want to take just enough fuel to make it the rest of the way, or do I fill the tank completely? Do I take 2 tires? Do I adjust anything inside the car? And that's one of the greatest things about having the open setup world here in iRacing. If your car isn't running the way that it needs to be, you can sit there, you can change the track bars, you can change the wedge, you can change the tire pressures, you can change everything you want inside the race car, whereas of the fixed setup, the only thing that you can change is 4 tires and fuel. You can't change tire pressure, you can't change anything. So a lot of questions are going to go into this final pit stop, as the racing world will call the money stop here at
The money
Indianapolis.
stop. Hands down, you're exactly right. Don't forget, by the way, to like and subscribe. I'm understanding we're about 70 people away from hitting 3,000 followers, subscribers on Australia NASCAR E-Series. By the way, we've got a lot of great things planned, not only for the Sunday series that you're watching for the now Australia NASCAR Championship. Don't forget, Season 2 continues with the Bullring Motor Group, the Bullring Motor Group Xfinity Series, the Burling Motor Group Xfinity Series. Burling, our buddy Burling, and he's got his MGs and Lexuses, and the Burling Motor Group Xfinity Series rolls into round 3 at Dover this upcoming Tuesday night. And then there's the Australian NASCAR Truck Series. I think that's on Thursday night. So you've got coverage on Sunday, Tuesday, well, every other Sunday for the Australian NASCAR Series, every day that ends in Y. And here comes green flag pit stops. Did I call it perfectly? Lap 71. Here they come to pit lane right now, Dylan. Aaron Gilbert's going to be the first man in.
Aaron Gilbert in on lap number 72 out of 100. The lonesome number 03 down in the pit lane. But now that opens up the eyeballs to everybody else. Okay, if he can pit and he can make it the rest of the way here, that means my fuel window is open for the rest of the race. But it's when do you want to go in? You don't want to go in too early to where you don't have enough tire advantage towards the end of the race. Looking back up here is Brad Newman is going to be able to stay out. Zach Kerr, top 3, going to stay out here on the Speedway.
Yeah, I just don't think we've reached that time yet, right? What did I say? Between lap 70 to 78, I think we're going to see pit stops. Who went for the undercut first? Obviously, Aaron Gilbert in the 0-3, back of 14th position now. Now, will he get his lap back? I think he will. Will he be able to fight here? Will we see late race cautions because of the green flag pit stops? That's something we'll have to keep an eye on, no doubt. Dylan McDonald in Indianapolis. He lives in Indiana. Well, Fort Wayne, Indiana. Hey, by the way, the Rumble in Fort Wayne, that's always pretty badass in December there. Dylan, I don't know if you've ever been to that before. That's fun.
I go every year.
Yes, sir.
Have to. I mean,
the Rumble in Fort Wayne.
Everything. I mean, we had Bearfield. Bearfield got tore down. We got Angola. We got Salem.
Been there. Angola. Out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. We got Montpelier. We got Anderson. We got IRP. We got Indianapolis. Indiana is the home of racing. It's the center of racing, just like Daytona.
He said we don't have Bathurst yet. We don't have Bathurst. We need Bathurst. We need Bath.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you what. Fort Wayne is making a road course for members only in Fort Wayne. But still, nobody down in the pit lane. Lap number 74 out of 100 are complete. So you got 4 more laps to hit that magical number for you. And I think I would assume maybe lap 80. So we have just a straight 20-lap run to the end of this race here tonight. But 78 could be the magic number for our race leaders.
Hey, guess what today is, Dylan? Guess what today is? Yesterday for you Aussies. Today is National Ice Cream Day. Actually, correction, it is still Sunday morning here, Sunday night there. It is National Ice Cream Day. So you need to get some ice cream. It might be winter in Aussie world at this time of the year because it's hot as hell here in the United States, but get you some ice cream. And here comes Ethan Winter getting ready to come down for ice cream and the money stop. Lap number 75.
I can see it. Ethan Winter's crew chief sitting up on his pit box, feet up. We're down here eating ice cream. Oh, Wayne Burke.
Wow.
Wayne Burke down in the pit lane, the lonesome top 3 in the pit lane. Now, this is a big strategy called by Wayne Burke. If you're Brad Newman and Zach Kerr, do you go in this time or do you stretch it
next
to
lap.
Lap number 78?
Yeah, you're right. Next lap, I think. The next lap, you're going to have to, man. If you don't, you're literally shooting yourself in the foot. You have to literally pit. You should have been ready to go when the leader came in. But if you're Brad Newman and Zach Kerr, you need to pit this lap. Tom Freer, I know he's got 4 laps more than the other guys did, but I think he wants to be in sequence. He'll come to pit lane 2. The verdict is about to be decided here, Dylan. Already.
Lachlan Mead and Brenton West all down in the pit lane.
Wow.
Stay out.
I don't need no damn ice cream at 8 o'clock in the morning in North Carolina. It's too early for me to be eating ice cream.
Tom Freer in that time by. So Tom Freer.
Hey, there you go.
He's been listening to you.
He committed. Sam Chapman listened to me. Newman and Kerr, what were you thinking? Micklemore, other ones coming down pit lane, and here comes the pit stops, the money stops, if you will. Under 25 laps to go in this one.
Just those last 3 laps, Zach Kerr has lost so much time to Brad Newman, almost pushed him 3 seconds. Here we go. Does Brad Newman go down in the pit lane? Brad Newman in this time. Zach Kerr going to stay out. So Zach Kerr doesn't slow down. It looks like he did. So Brad Newman in this time. That's going to relinquish the race lead back to Zach Kerr. I'm actually going to follow along with Mr. Brad Newman in pit lane. I'm going to see what he does. Is it 2 tires or is it 4 for the number 1 machine?
Pit stop, money stop, going on, 22 to go. Boy, this has been a good one. 1 caution flag, by the way, in the early going of this race. And it has been awesome racing since then. All this happening now. Race recap, bottom right, there it is. 78 of 100 laps. Zach Kerr, the pole man. Zach Kerr, the pole man. The points man. Zach Kerr back up in front after a jump start. Well, actually, it was a lane violation. It wasn't a jump start. It was a lane violation on the initial start. He had to suffer a stop-and-go penalty, rallied his way back, got an early caution, found his way, licked his wounds, and found a way back to the lead with 20 to go, heading to the final 50 miles and 200 miles complete here at Indy tonight now, Dylan.
Brad Newman did, in fact, take 4 tires, as I believe Jamie Ritchie took only 2 because he was in and out fairly quickly, did not get out in front of Brad Newman, but Brad Newman taking the strategy of 4 tires here tonight, so obviously he's thinking longevity. He wants the 4-tire, 4-tire Morocco. And finally, Zach Kerr makes his way down into pit lane, gets that car down to 55 mile an hour, and now the long way down into pit lane.
He would be totally out of sequence with everybody if he did not come down the pit lane here. So he had to do that. Zach Kerr, P1 on the pole for the race. The points man leader on pit road here. Everyone else pitted before him. Zach Kerr will now try to pit with a 33-second lead over Wayne Burke. There's Wayne Burke coming down the front straightaway, and now Wayne Burke, the new leader. Zach Kerr still on pit road. How far will he drop on the scoring pylon?
Zach Kerr taking 4 tires. He's on his way out now of pit lane. Currently sitting a P at number 3 on the race field.
Burke, Newman, 5 seconds back. By the way, Wayne Burke, who has dominated the last couple of weeks of the Australian NASCAR Championship B Series. He dominated the street course race at Chicago 2 weeks ago, and tonight he leads here at Indy. Now, fastest car of the race, 52.960 seconds, picking up speed when it counts the most down the stretch. 20 to go, the final 50 miles at Indy right now, and Dylan Burke is heading it back into turn 1. 5 seconds over Brad Newman's Toyota. Tom Freer, by the way, 10 seconds back. Zach Kerr, who just pitted a moment ago, well, he's 12 seconds back to try to run down Burke. Does he got enough time? It's the question.
I honestly think that Brad Newman could have time. We've seen what Brad Newman can do on the long run over the stint of 40-plus laps. He's only got 20 laps, so he's really got to put that car in overdrive as Zach Kerr only fell back down to P4. He just made the pass for P number 3, so Zach Kerr making his way back up to P number 3 in the last podium spot. Does Zach Kerr have enough laps in time to get back up there to Brad Newman and Wayne Burke?
Very good question. Under 20 to go. There's Brad Newman now. He's in second. Will his Toyota run down the Chevrolet of Wayne Burke? And by the way, Zach Kerr now, fastest man on the racetrack, 52.754. He cut his deficit on the leader Burke by 4 seconds on the last lap in the 89 leading. It's now 10 seconds back to Burke.
Looking at it now, Zach Kerr getting on around the number 8 machine nice and easily, but he's got 4 seconds to make up. Brad Newman does on the race leader. He's got to make it up fairly quickly. I mean, he's got more laps than what he needs to get back up to the race leader. And just watching it now, it's down under 4 seconds. So Brad Newman doing what he needs to do to get through all these corners at Indianapolis, trying to get that next win off of that, and not wanting to have Wayne Burke win 2 races back-to-back.
as we move to the postseason. One more race left to go. Daytona in 2 weeks, August the 2nd. August the 3rd, my apologies. And right now, there it is, August the 3rd, Daytona, final race of the regular season. And then we go right into the playoffs beginning August the 17th. By the way, there is a correction on the schedule. We'll be at Atlanta for the round of 8. Talladega will now be on October the 19th. Talladega will be not October 12th, but October the 19th. And then they will race at Vegas the following week. Just want to let you know about those schedule updates. I know the schedule says October 12th, but it will be October the 19th. As right now, your Nitro Racing blimp drone camera shows the P1 number 12 up in the 3rd spot. Zach Kerr, can he run down Wayne Burke? It's now down to 8.5 seconds to the leader as they work back to the start-finish line, Dylan. Wow.
Yeah, Zach is on a mission here, running it looks like almost the fastest lap so far, but man, Zach Kerr on a mission right now, maybe stretching that fuel out just a little bit longer, just 2 laps longer than what Brad did, and then obviously 4 laps longer than what Wayne did. Zach Kerr's got the freshest tires out of the top 3. A little bit of a scrub there by Brad Newman, but Zach Kerr able to get through the lap traffic pretty quickly and nice and easily. It's going to be set up to be a really good battle for the P2, maybe possibly P1. There kind of looks like it's spread out. We got a little gang of cars, the 16, the 19, and I don't know who is with them. But if these drivers keep it clean, I got to go with possibly the 89 if he can keep that distance right where it's at. I mean, it's only 3-second difference between Wayne and Brad Newman. If he can keep that 3 seconds up there, he'll be absolutely fine.
Well, I'll say this much. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but obviously as you get down to the late stretch of this race, you got to think about guys trying to push their cars to the limit. Aggressiveness will peak. A slip-up could happen. Could we see a late race caution? That could be something that hangs in the balance. Right now, Wayne Burke does not want to see that happen, as Brad Newman has got his car in his sights on the short chute off of turn 4. There's Newman running down Burke. It's now down to under 3 seconds with 15, making 14 to go. Cross the yard of bricks at Indy. They're back in turn number 1. Not done yet. And by the way, Zach Kerr, still fast. 52.754. Newman better not look at his rear view mirror, if you will, Dylan, because that Ford is running down the Toyota Supra of Brad Newman for the bridesmaid spot. Newman running down Burke. If Newman and Kerr want to do anything, let's not battle. Let's not get side by side. Let's hook up. 2-car tandem. Run down Burke. Make it a 3-car battle for the win. That's what you need to do. Don't get greedy. 14, 13 at the line now.
Yeah, definitely don't want to get too greedy. Is right behind Kerr. Looks like the 14, I believe. Jamie Ritchie smacking the wall on the coming off turn number 4. He's not battling for position. He's still 1 lap down, so he's trying to get that lap back the hard way, the Bill Elliott way, as a lot of NASCAR fans would remember that by. But still, Brad Newman making his way up there to the number 89. He is only 2.3 seconds back off our race leader, and then behind him, you have Zach Kerr just 5 seconds behind the race leader. So everybody's still catching up, but do they have enough laps? In Wes, you can attest to it too. It's one thing to catch somebody. It's a total different game to pass somebody.
You're exactly right. And Brad Newman now cutting it to under 2 seconds now. He's got another 6/10 on the leader, Burke. It's now 2 seconds off the short chute. Here, kitty, kitty, meow, 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 and I'm not going to leave any milk dish in the bowl. Here comes now Burke and Newman, ready to battle for the home stretch. And Zach Kerr, literally, methodically, right there. Here he comes. It's that close. How close is 5 seconds? You're seeing it. And we are closing in on a dozen. Make it 11 laps to go when they cross the yard of bricks at Indy, this time by off turn 4 there, Dylan. By the way, NASCAR at Indy next week.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be fun. That is one race that I do want to go to. I've only been down to Indy during Indy 500 week, never the Brickyard. And that, excuse me, that is obviously a bucket list item. You know, obviously you see the Indy cars going, you got to see the stock cars too.
Yep.
It's you may not.
I'm so glad that they got away from the road course. I really am. I'm glad they got away from the road course.
After Kyle Larson lost brakes and took out Noah Gragson, yeah, I'd say the same thing too. I bet you Kyle Larson's even more happy about it.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we will close in on 10 laps to go. The final 25 miles of this race. Next time around, the battle is for the top 3 cars. Up in front, everyone else is, not say out of it, but they need a caution to shake it up. Right now, Burke, Newman, Kerr, those 3 drivers are separated now by 3 3/4 seconds now. Burke, Newman, Kerr, car across the line. 10 to go at Indy. It is go time. If you're those guys behind Burke, it's time to run down the 89 and spoil the party.
Yeah.
Matt Danson out of the race. He had led a lap earlier, got involved in an accident. He says that I quote, epic finish incoming. Get the what do you call it? Your favorite Aussie food ready. What is your snacks gonna be? Yeah, you get your Bunnings snags ready to go. Your Bunnings snags and Vegemite sandwiches. One day I'm going to eat a Vegemite sandwich. I've heard good things. I've heard bad things. I don't know.
Vegemite just reminds me of like black tar that you see out on the roadway.
Yeah.
No. I used to do that.
A swig salt in your mouth, and that's a Vegemite sandwich. So I guess it's high in cholesterol and sodium, basically, right?
Yeah.
There you go. Okay. 9 to go. Here they come to the stripe. 8 remaining now. Dylan, what in the world is Burke what has Burke got to do to hold these guys off? Because they're cutting it down. Kerr, 3 seconds, under 3 seconds. Newman, 3/4 of a second.
Yeah, definitely going to be something fun to watch because, I mean, every single corner, every single lap, the 12 and the 1 are catching Wayne Burke as quickly as he got away, is as quick as he's going to have it pulled back to him. It's kind of like that commercial with Peyton Manning with the fishing pole with the dollar on it. He's like, oh, you got to be quicker than that. You almost had it. This is the story of Wayne Burke if he does get past the number 1 of Brad Newman.
Seven to go. By the way, don't forget next Australian Motorsport Esports broadcast. Motorsport Australia, my apologies. It will be on Tuesday night. Dover Motor Speedway, the Burley Motor Group X Series. Myself, Nigel Siddell, will be on the call. Xfinity, and then the Truck Series will be coming up on Thursday night. 2 weeks Daytona, And now Newman after Burke. Lap traffic up ahead. Are you kidding me? Get it ready, ladies and gentlemen. This is where the action is. It's about to be go time, Aussies. 7, make it 6 to go. Wayne Burke overcoming lap traffic. Get the hell out of my way. That's what Burke says. And Newman's running him down. Here, kitty. It's time to pounce on the field. The Uno car going after Burke in turn 1 with 6 to go.
And this is where it's going to come into play. Did Brad Newman overdrive his car for a couple laps? Or did he save enough tire wear in the back of his
getting so excited he got the hiccups.
Yeah, just a little bit. It's all right, though. We can manage. Dilbo over here trying to do what he can, but, man, that number 1's looking strong. Same with the number 12. 12 just can't get the draft off the number 13 of Brenton West. As right now, that gap is slowly closing in.
Try it again. 5 to go when they come to the line. This time by 5 laps to go. Oh my. It is go time.
Kerr's best bet right now is these two get the battle, and they're going to be side by side. That's going to be Zach Kerr's best friend right there. Now, in past, when the one has passed Wayne kind of let Brad Newman go. Is this the time where Wayne's going to start being a little bit more aggressive? Like, be aggressive, be aggressive. Or is he going to be conservative? Just let him go, let him get the race win. It all comes down to these final 5 laps.
And if Newman pressures Burke too much, this will allow Kerr to get right back in the battle. Here they come to the line. 4 laps to go. That is 10 miles remaining, and Kerr is after Newman. Newman after Burke. Go time at Virtual Indy, Aussie friends. It is about to happen. What will go down? Here comes Newman. He'll make his run on the Chevrolet. He went high. He went low out of the short chute. Here they come to the back straightaway. Burke under attack by the 1 car to the back straightaway there, Dylan.
Burke under heavy pressure, you can see there. Now they're going to start battling. This is exactly what Zach Kerr wants to see happen. But look at that, right up on the back bumper, Brad Newman, all over the back bumper, trying to force him into a mistake. Looks low, goes high, fed him a dummy, but they're all nose to tail. And where does Zach Kerr go if it gets to the time? Where does he want to go? Does he want to go high? Does he want to go low? Does he want to push it 3 wide into the corner? We're going to find out here. 2 laps, top 3, nose to tail. The P1 Docks machine in P number 3. Trying to make it P number 1. Going to start wants to finish where he started. A little bit loose for the go.
Oh, contact.
Burke.
Oh, Burke. Somehow saved it. What a save by Burke. But now, Newman and Kerr, they're going to go at it now. Here comes Kerr on the outside. Newman, plenty of room. He tried to throw the block on him. He gave him room on the bottom. Here they come to the line. 2 laps to go at Indy when they work through turn 4, Dylan. This is it. Now Newman and Kerr going at it all 4. Burke is a memory.
Yeah, Kerr's really got to be strategic here on what he wants to do. Don't show him the move too early. Going to go back up to the wall. He's got to time the run. It's absolutely perfect. But it's when do you want to do it? You got 2 laps. You don't want to do anything egregious to where it comes back and bites you on the final lap. He's going to be right up on that back bumper.
Set him up, Joe. He couldn't get there. Couldn't get there, Kerr. Oh, my Kerr. Inside, outside. Newman still protecting that spot. Newman and Kerr. Cat and mouse. Can Burke make it a 3-car battle again? Purple car to the inside of the teal green one. Nothing there. Through the short chute. They will take the white flag this time by. Who will it be on the other side? Will Burke find a way to get back in this? White flag. Dylan, 1 to go. It's go time here in Indy, you Aussies. 1 to go. Checker flag when they reach the next corner.
This race is going to end under green flag conditions. Zach Kerr's got to have a really good moment here. A little bit loose coming out of turn number 1, but he's going to be right there on the back bumper. He's got to make sure he matches that pace of Brad Newman. A little bit of a wall tap there that could have hurt him, but you don't want to have that dirty air, and I think that's what Zach Kerr ended up happening. Look at Brad Newman kind of pulling away just a little bit, but able to get there.
He can't get him. Zach Kerr, he hit the wall. He's going to fight all he can, make one last effort. Here they come through the short chute through 3 and 4. Zach Kerr, all his might, running out of time, running out of daylight. He runs him down. Can he catch him at the stripe? Will he? He can't. Brad Newman wins at Indy.
What a recovery for the number 12. Man, oh man, to lose by just that little bit much, by 0.17 of a second, absolute beautiful racing. I thought Zach Kerr was going to be able to get it down on that high side, but Brad Newman saw that perfect opportunity to run a little bit higher, make him go up a little bit higher, get him up out of the groove, and a well-deserved win for the number 1 of Brad Newman.
Will be his first win of the season, by the way. He will now become the 6th different winner of the year for Brad Newman. He was in the points tonight at 5th. Finally cashes in and wins. What a job for Brad Newman. What a race. What a, by the way, 79th career start of NASCAR Australia Esports. It is his first win of the year, 19th overall, 53rd top 5, 62nd top 10. And he is about to burn it down. Started 9th, methodically waited, got around Burke, held off Kerr. Brad Newman wins here in Indianapolis, and it is celebration time, Dylan, for these guys. Wow.
Oh, he's doing the wrong thing. You're not supposed to do burnouts across the bricks. Oh, no, no, no. You're going to have an Indiana man very, very unhappy. You can't do that. Oh, no, no, no. That's bad juju. That is bad juju.
Oh, yeah. He can't drink milk unless he does it virtually, and he can't kiss the yard of bricks.
Hey, listen.
It looks like he's doing a burnout with hearts across the yard of bricks for Brad Newman. First win of the year, and it is another driver that has found victory lane and on to the playoffs. Here's a look at the results for round 12 tonight for Australia NASCAR Championship E-Series at Indianapolis. Brad Newman picks up the win over Zach Kerr. It is Wayne Burke second, or Carr second, Wayne Burke third. We'll talk to the trio on the podium coming up in post-race. Tom Freer, Ethan Winter, your top 5. Sam Chapman, Lewis Greathead, Britton Hobson, Josh Micklemore, Fitzroy Beaumont, all on the lead lap. But look at the interval of the top 10, 40 seconds back to the winner there. One caution in this race, by the way. Top 10 there, and you got the finishing order there, Dylan.
In P number 11, there's going to be Lachlan Mead. 12th is going to be Brenton West. 13th is going to be Jamie Price. 14th, Aaron Gilbert. 15th, not a strong race here for Jason Holdsworth. 16th is going to be Henry King. 17th, Shane Bowen. 18th is going to be Stephen Williams. 19th, Matt Danson, who had unfortunate circumstances. And rounding out your top 20 in 20 races, 20 racers out there on the track is going to be Dave Douglas in the number 10, finishing out the top 20.
Time of race, 1 hour, 37 minutes, and 20 seconds. Here's the battle coming off for that last corner. Now, you got to give Zach Kerr props, if you will, for that Ford number 12 there, Dylan. He was doing everything he can, but you know the old cliche, the virtual kitchen sink. He was doing everything he could to throw the kitchen sink and the pipes and the bolts and the wrenches, all he could to catch Brad Newman. Just simply ran out of time there coming off. I think when he bounced off the wall on the back straightaway, that took that win away from the number 12. We are taking a break because we haven't been to a break none since we came on the air. I got to get a swig of some Pepsi and grab a Vegemite sandwich, or at least take a swig of some salt, sodium style, in the US of A. Dylan and myself grab the podium when we come back. This is Motorsport Australia NASCAR Championship Australian Series, and Brad Newman wins at Indianapolis. One race left to the playoffs. Daytona in 2 weeks, and we are back.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
By the way, coverage of Motorsport Australia Esports continues again on Tuesday night with coverage of round number 3 of the Burling Motor Group Xfinity Series, and that will be at Dover. The Truck Series on Thursday night, and of course in 2 weeks, Daytona, final race of the regular season with the Australian NASCAR Championship E-Series. More details on social media, and of course follow us on the networks of Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. Wesley Outland, Dylan McDonald, great work as always by Bigglestein Hopton. You're checking a look at some of the highlights of the race. Brad Newman joins us for post-race career win number 19, his first of this season. You're in the playoffs, Brad. How wild was that race, mate, racing here and holding off these awesome drivers, Carr and Burke?
Hey, mate. Yeah, good, thanks. It was a good, fun, hard race. Got pretty close there at the end, but yeah, it was good fun.
I'll tell you what, and then I'll toss it to Dylan to ask you a question as well if he's got one, Brad. Man, the pit stops, the long green flag runs, I mean, there was only one caution in the opening 10 laps of this race. How much did that change the strategy? And obviously trying to keep track of where your competition was, but obviously knowing that you need to save your car and pushing it to the right time to go to the front to win this thing.
I hadn't really thought about it too much before the race, but after the first caution, making the decision to take the tyres, knowing that we'd have to stretch what we had left to the end, it basically became the only strategy, just run it long. But thankfully, the car was good. I had a lot of help. I couldn't have done it without Brody Kostecki today. Spent a bunch of time getting the car right for me and helping me during the race with the strategy and driving and everything. I couldn't have done this without him today. So,
Brad, Dylan's got a question for you, but I do need to tell you, if you can, you need to go to your refrigerator. You need to get you a big old tall glass and put some milk in it, my friend, your favorite milk of choice. You know, 2% fat, 2% low fat, whatever, buttermilk, whatever your choice is. And Nigel's milk, get you some milk and celebrate this one, man. Right? I mean, everybody wins at Indy. They drink milk. You gotta drink some Aussie milk with us, buddy.
Yeah, I'll get onto that for you. So I'll make sure.
Dylan, what you got, boss?
All right, Brad. Congratulations on the race win here tonight. I was watching a lot of you guys in practice. I even asked Jason, I said, how does it feel getting down on the rumble strips? I watched you throughout the race here tonight. You kind of put those left side tires on that rumble strip. Did you at all feel a little bit loose? Did the car feel exactly what you needed it to do? Or did you just pretty much put the car wherever it wanted and just let her eat?
If I'm being completely honest, I just had Brody in my ear telling me each lap where to put it. So I was sort of just going off what he said and just trying to do that to the best of my ability. And wherever it ended up, it ended up.
Well, absolutely. I mean, definitely got to thank them for helping you out there and obviously getting another race win out here tonight at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It was an absolute blast watching you and Zach Kerr battle those last couple of laps there. Obviously, you doing you, getting the job done here at Indy. Congratulations.
Thanks, mate, and thanks to the guys at Lobs Esports and all you guys for putting this event on. Cheers, boys.
Hey, real quickly, sponsors, anything else you got to thank? Obviously, Mr. Brad and Jordan Jurassic wants to know what setup you use.
This is something, no, it was just something Brody made for me before the race, so you have to speak to him.
Okay, there you go. All right. Well, buddy, congratulations to you. Brad Newman, ladies and gentlemen, as I mentioned, first win of the season for him overall in his career. 79th start, 19th career win for NASCAR Australia, 53rd top 5, and 62nd top 10. Zach Kerr, points man, fast man, had to fight and claw to get back in this one, buddy. You're settled for second. Good solid point. Stay on the road to the playoffs. Your take of surviving Indy. Nothing wrong with silver. Second, mate.
Finishing second definitely hurts being that close after everything that happened, especially with the start getting put back to the back. But I think after all that, it was a pretty solid recovery.
A little hiccup there at the beginning. Obviously a lane violation, but you quickly came down to the pit lane. That caution quickly coming down to the opening start, that really worked in your favor, didn't it? Like, that puts you right back into this game, didn't it?
Oh, no doubt. The caution definitely put me back in the fight for it, which I'll correct you for the penalty. It was apparently I jumped the green flag, so I'm not sure on the call. I can't do anything against it, but that's what the call was.
So it wasn't a lane violation. It was jumping the initial start. And that's got to be frustrating, too, because you're the guy on the pole coming to green, right? I mean, are they saying you jumped the restart zone too early? Is that what it was?
I think it was just, I guess I jumped the green flag, which my point of view, I already saw the green flag, so I went when I saw it, and it pinged me for it, so there's nothing I can do about it now, though.
Dylan, what you got? He's second place.
Obviously, Zach battling the adversities here tonight, but able to come back up here to P number 2. What more did you need out of that number 12 machine here tonight to get around the number 1 of Brad Newman in those closing laps?
I just needed more rear grip. I just pushed way too hard to begin with, and by the time I got to him, I didn't have any rear tires left.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that definitely is going to play a big factor into that. But again, hell of a run by you and the number 12 machine. Obviously, taking a week off, coming back here to Daytona. We're going to see the same thing next week from you. You're going to play towards the back? You're going to be up towards the front? Or are you just going to kind of fall in line wherever you can?
I think I'll just be wherever. I'm pretty solid in points and everything, so might as well just try and bank as many points as I can again.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's exactly what you got to do, especially at a plate track. But Zach, before I let you get on out of here, if there's anybody on that number 12 machine you'd like to give a shout out to, or any fans out there watching that you want to give a shout out to, the floor is yours.
Massive thanks to all the Nexus Esports guys. P1 Docs are sponsoring the car. Cosman from Splash and Go for the paint scheme, and you guys for the broadcast.
Thank you very much. Zach Kerr, again, the man came in on P1, that obviously the P1Docs.com entry. He'll leave as the points leader, and as the road to the playoffs heads in. It looks like he might be the guy that's at top. Right now, let's grab the third place driver in post, and that is Wayne Burke. Wayne, I spoke to you a couple of weeks ago winning the Chicago street race, and then you won, obviously, the following weekend or the following couple of nights with the BMG X Series as well. But this one, my friend from Melbourne, was not easy. I mean, dude, it was all you could to hold off those guys running you down. Were the tires gone, Wayne? What was the strategy that changed everything for you ending up third here?
Yeah, the tyres were just gone at the end. I knew I didn't quite have the long run pace, especially Brad's car. The long run was pretty mega. So I tried some different things with fuel to shorten my pit stop time, which helped me a bit. And I just couldn't hold him off at the end. He got his nose into two, and which is a good move, and I would have done the same thing. And yeah, I sort of knew that if it was a straight fight, I probably wouldn't finish third. So I knew I had to try and play games to try and block him. But yeah, so I'm sort of happy with third. Would have been nice to get another win for the playoff points, but yeah, but
it got fun there at the end, didn't it? It got wild. Yeah. Were you expecting that, Wayne?
Yeah, but yeah, especially this format. The bonus points for winning is so important going to the playoffs. So I would have done the same thing if I was in his position.
Dylan.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, you had the short run car here tonight. Obviously, getting out there, leading a bunch of laps. Towards the end of the run, you would kind of fall off pace there just a little bit, kind of just running your own race. Didn't want to put yourself in too much trouble. And me and Wes talked about it all night tonight. You're being conservative, especially once Brad Newman came around you. Was that your plan whenever him or even Zach Kerr caught up to you in the early goings, just to kind of let them go on by, give them the room that you wanted, and then whenever the time came, you're going to start running them a little bit harder?
Yeah, exactly right. So I knew in that middle stint it was not worth fighting. I knew I was gonna pit earlier with the fuel strat. So, and I knew coming down to 5 to go that was when I was going to start getting more defensive. So yeah, so that early on, that mid race, it was not worth the fight. Yeah, it was just easier to go together, lose as least amount of time as possible. We did a good job. We gapped the rest of the field, but yeah, that's all right. Third's okay. Go on to Daytona next week, and I think I'll finish second there at the start of the year. So who knows what will happen next week?
Well, Daytona should be a wild one, and that was actually my final question I was going to ask you before you thank your sponsors. So please segue that, Wayne Burke, and obviously, how crazy will the race at Daytona be compared to what we saw at Indy tonight?
Well, I think Daytona's always wild, especially like if there's people outside the cutoff looking in. Everyone's going to go for that win. So I think we'll see a pretty wild race. And yeah, I just thank the guys at Vermilion Esports and Conti Docs for their great work again. And you guys for putting on the broadcast, and see you in a couple of weeks.
Thank you very much. There you go. Third place for Wayne Burke. By the way, overall statistics for Australia NASCAR Championship E-Series. It is his 29th career start overall. He's got 4 wins, 15 top 5s, and now 23 top 10s for the man in the number 3 from Melbourne. All right. Well, Dylan, we're going to wrap it up here now. We'll prepare in 2 days for coverage of the BMG Xfinity Series, and that will be at Dover, Daytona in 2 nights on Thursday night following Tuesday, with coverage on Motorsport Australia Esports. There's a look at the upcoming schedule. Daytona, August 3rd in 2 weeks, and then the playoffs. Your final take of Indy. Dylan, pleasure working with you. Look forward to seeing you again.
Oh, absolutely. It was absolutely fun to be around, bringing the energy at 6 o'clock in the morning for both of us. So definitely got to step up my game for 2 weeks' time. So I'll be here with you in the broadcast booth. It's definitely good to, pitch ideas back and forth and get that click, I guess you could call it, here with you and having Dean making us laugh, break character a little bit throughout the stream. So it's always fun. Can't wait to see what happens at Daytona. Can't wait to see what happens for the rest of the year.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you'd like to know more about Australian NASCAR Australian esports, go on Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube. Hit that like and subscribe. And, of course, coverage of iRacing, Nitro Racing, and on Motorsport Australia Esports is the NASCAR Australia Series. Thanks you for joining us from Indy. Thanks again, as always, to Jason Haldsworth, Nigel Siddell, race director here tonight. And your winner, when the checkered flag fell, was Brad Newman. For Biggles, Dean Hopton, the one-man band director, makes us happen, make us sound good, makes everything look good. For Mr. Dylan McDonald in Indianapolis, go to bed. Dylan, actually, he's getting ready to play golf. I am going to bed. Not going to lie to you. I'm getting ready to crash out and go to sleep in North Carolina. To all my Aussie mates and mateys, this is your American Aussie announcer, Wesley Outland, thanking you for joining us. Congratulations to Brad Newman. First win of the year. One race left to the playoffs in the Australian NASCAR Championship E-Series. Be good to one another, and I'll see you on Tuesday. Good night.